So, this is a quick one before I have to start my job. There's really mm, probably only 6 chip teams this year. Um, Maybe a seventh, but to me, the only teams that have a actual case for a championship before the season starts is Lakers, Golden State, Phoenix in the West, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Miami in the East. Realistically, those are the only teams I see with a shot at a ring. Talent-wise, I feel like they each have at least one guy that is one of the best players on the planet. And if they don't, their talent level is so high overall, it circumvents that. So, 4 of the teams for sure have what I consider the gods of the league. And then the other 2 teams simply just have very solid teams overall, top to bottom. And of those 2 teams that don't have a guy, they were just in the finals the last 2 years apiece. Phoenix this past year, and the year before that was Miami. And I think they got a case because it's hard for me to say a team like Miami not be like top 3 defenses this year. And I think for Phoenix, after getting to the playoffs and having a deep run, I think Book, Ayton, and some of the rest of their young guys are going to come back better, and that's going to carry them. Now, Golden State is Golden State. They were missing Clay. They'll have him back this year. Plus, they got some talented draft picks, and this is Wiseman's second year, and I think Wiseman got hurt and had to miss part of the season, too. That changes things. LeBron has Westbrook, and they got shooters this year, and they got Dwight Howard back. Better team. Brooklyn has the big 3, and they got better. Patty Mills is a huge pickup for them. The Bucks are the champions. So those are the championship teams this year. Now, could a team like Denver, Clippers if they get Kawhi back, the Bulls, Atlanta, maybe the Celtics, could they come in and maybe surprise a team or something if they're slipping? Possibly. The Denver one is interesting because they don't have Jamal Murray. The Bulls is interesting because if they're fully healthy, if a team loses a key piece, they could feast on them. Now, I still don't think they would beat the Lakers, the Bucks, or Brooklyn in a 7-game series. I just don't see it. And if they were going to beat the Lakers would have to lose LeBron. Or he'd have to be compromised. Golden State, I think, would be a fair clash. Stylistically, I think they'd have a shot at Golden State. Phoenix, I think they'd have a shot at Phoenix, too. The Bucks, even if they lost Drew or Chris, as long as they have Giannis, I don't think we'll beat them. Brooklyn, I mean, with a hobbled Harden, KD and them almost beat the Bucks. So as long as they have two guys healthy, they're pretty much a lock. Miami is a problem. Miami, like if we get into a first round series with Miami, we could probably lose that one. Just off of experience and talent, I think they're a better team. A lot of people won't agree with me, but that's okay. Teams like Atlanta got to the conference finals, and we could argue the circumstances in which they got there. But look, you're going to be healthy. You got all your guys coming back, and there's confidence there. They could take a jump. Denver, did they get to? Yeah, they got to the second round, I believe. Yeah, they got to the second round. Here's the thing with Denver. You basically got there with the MVP and Michael Porter Jr. showing like why he should have been taken higher, which I agree, and I was hoping he would have failed to the Lakers at the time because they still had Lonzo, and I would have loved to see them two play together. Jamal Murray's got to come back and ingratiate himself with those guys, and they should be fine. But we've seen what he last did in the postseason, and I think that can't be ignored. And so at full power, Denver could shock a team that's not prepared. They could come in and actually beat like a Golden State, or even get the Lakers or Phoenix, given the right circumstances. So I would imagine, teams like that. Is there anybody else in Dallas? My team, of course. Look, as long as you got Luka and KP, you're always going to make some noise. You're going to be around. They got the Clippers the last couple of years, and they lost both years. They probably won't get the Clippers this year. How that plays out, it's going to be interesting. And they're one of those teams where if they get any other team other than, say, the Lakers maybe, they could probably beat them. Like, Dallas is one of those teams, it's like, there's certain guys they're not going to be able to deal with. And if, like, for instance, I really think if they get matched up with anybody else right now other than, say, a healthy Lakers, they'll probably win. The only toss-up to me is Denver and maybe Golden State, but that heavily depends on Klay's playing level, playing ability, maybe Draymond too. But that one, I want to see that series. That I would love to see Golden State versus Luka and the Mavs in a 7-game series. I hope they're both healthy, and I hope we get to see that this year. That's a very good. That's one of those ones where you got to just kind of watch it. You can't look at the stats. You have to watch the game play out. I'd be very interested in that series. Obviously, I'm a Mavs fan, but just from basketball perspective in general, I'd be very interested in that series. That's about it, man. Like, the Celtics are going to be hot. I think Dennis Schroeder will be pretty good for them. I don't think he's going to be bad. I think he helps. But it's just really a matter of Brown and Tatum. And these guys got to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 of their first 3 years together. I don't see why they couldn't do it again. So we'll see. But they need some help. They're not a championship level team. Remember, I made a video a couple weeks ago where I said, most of these other teams in that mid-tier are kind of like a piece away. That's what I mean. I believe some of the teams I mentioned, KP and the Mavs, or Luka and the Mavs, I should say, not KP. Denver, and their piece could be very well Jamal Murray. Atlanta, the Bulls, I think they're probably a piece away. and the Celtics, about a piece away. But realistically, those are the chip teams. Just telling you the truth. Those are the teams with the realistic most chance to get a chip. And the other teams that I mentioned would need like an injury to one of those other teams to even it out. But that's all I got. Have a good one. Peace.